What is a smart contract? So Jeffrey Voss, the master of the roles, often mentions smart contracts and blockchain in his speeches about law tech. What is a smart contract? A smart contract is a misnomer. A much better phrase would be automated transaction. That's all a smart contract is. It's an automated transaction. Think about a vending machine. It's automated. You put money in and it automatically dispenses the product. Money in, Coke out. It's a simple automated transaction. And a smart contract is like a vending machine, but built on the blockchain. So consider the blockchain to be a publicly accessible vending machine system, which allows anybody to create an automated transaction so that if something happens, something else happens. Typically, something happens and money is transferred to someone else, or rather tokens on the blockchain are transferred to someone else, and those tokens are considered to represent money. And transactions can already be automated, right? Vending machine is an automated transaction. Spotify, consider Spotify. They automatically pay out the record companies based on how many times a particular track is played. And it kind of looks like an automated transaction, but it's automated by Spotify. So Spotify have written the code to track how many times each recording is played, and they distribute royalties to the record companies accordingly. So the record companies have to trust Spotify to do that. They could appoint an auditor to check that the tracking system is working correctly, and so on. And it all kind of works, but you could automate that on the blockchain. So the recording could have built into it a mechanism to pay out the rights holder based on the number of times that recording is played. And you wouldn't need somebody to be checking that. It would be intrinsically built into the recording. Why would you want to do that? What's the point? It kind of works fine. You can pretty much automate transactions already. The advantage of the blockchain is that it reduces transaction costs because it reduces the amount of manual work that needs to be done, and it reduces the amount of checking that each side has to do to verify that that the transaction has been executed correctly. So if we consider the example of a house purchase, where the transaction costs are enormous because there's so much manual work has to be done. Someone has to manually check that the house exists, that it's a certain size, that it has a right of way, that it has a water supply, and that there isn't someone about to build another house next door to it, and all that kind of thing. And even the payment for the house is done and verified manually. The bank sends the money to the solicitor checks they've received it, passes it on down the chain, and so on. And if one person in the chain, one solicitor in the chain is unavailable at the crucial day, or for a few hours in that day, that can delay the whole transaction. Whereas you could build that onto the blockchain, a mechanism where legal title was automatically transferred once the tokens, the payment for that house, had been transferred to the new owner. So when you hear people talk about smart contracts, think automated transaction built on a public system which anybody can inspect. And the advantage of that is that it's automatic and it can be publicly checked. So the code that underpins the automation is easy for anybody to verify, which reduces the transaction costs and the amount of manual work that's needed.